For my book review, I chose to focus on teacher motivation, and I got this theme from Urban Science Education for the Hip Hop Generations by Christopher Edman. And one quote that really jumped out at me was, "A possible reason for why science may be viewed negatively is the need for scientists and science educators to assert that they are of a special breed that alone possess the ability to understand science." He then discussed an inclination found in those who teach science to feel it is their duty to look for students who have the honor to be disciplined in that hard, cruel, introspective, alien society known as science. And then he goes on to say that it persists in science education and causes those who teach science to believe they guard the turf reserved for scientists from those who cannot withstand the rigors of the discipline. This belief alienates those who are a part of a culture that is perceived as not disciplined enough to partake in academic challenges like the hard sciences, and causes a blaming of those who are not perceived as able to achieve for having challenges in achieving. And this really stuck out to me because the thought that some kids feel alienated from a subject isn't fair. I don't think that that's the idea of being a teacher, and we really need to motivate all students to believe that they too can have a future in science, that it's not just for a special breed, as it's said here in this quote. So I took the theme of motivation and how teachers have a power, but we need to use that power to motivate our students, to get them to do well in science and maybe pursue a career in science later on. One article is Rethinking Scientific Literacy, and a quote from this article said that not everyone agrees that science could or should be for all. Some scientists are blatantly opposed to the possibility of a general scientific literacy, pointing out that science is an elitist calling and that raw intelligence and special skills that far exceed what is to be expected of the average person are required to attain it. So again, the idea that a specific person has the abilities to be to have a career in science, and that not all students can do it. And I don't like that idea. I want all students to believe that they can do it. So this article debunked that idea, and that science is that's not for the average person, and that anybody can do science. And this article also proposes the idea that parents, scientists, graduate students, and other community members must be a part of science learning in order for students to believe that they too can go on and have a career in science and be successful in science. Because if they see that these people can do it and these people motivate them, then they'll believe that they can do it. They won't see science as something too hard or boring. And this way teachers have to be enthusiastic about it, because they too will be enthusiastic about science. The second article focused on how there's a shortage of teachers in the sciences, and how there's a shortage of teachers and how they expect an even greater shortage. And according to this article, science is essential to understanding the world, which is why it's important that students are given the best science education possible, and that students aren't going to do well in science if they're not being taught in a beneficial way, where we have to teach them that science is important and that they're going to need it in their life, and they have to be motivated to want to do well when it comes to science. The next article focused on gender differences and how there aren't as many females in science careers. So this article focused on how to motivate female students at a younger age that they too can pursue a career in science, and that science is for all, not just for men. Well, we don't want them to see that science is a masculine subject. The fourth article is that students' success in science is dependent on their attitudes towards science, so we can't have them see science in a negative view, otherwise they will not succeed in science. The last article, Physical Science Teachers Grow on Trees, is also stresses the idea that science is for all, and that scientists are not a special breed, and that students can pursue a future in the field. Teachers should not be closing the door on young children by presenting science as dull, alien, introspective, masculine, and unintelligible, and laborious. This way, students have to be able to see science in a positive aspect, otherwise they're not going to be motivated to do well or to even keep going in advanced courses. So I like the idea of motivation and how teachers have a power and we need to focus on the good points of our power, and we have to motivate our students to do well in science. We need to provide the best to all our students, not just some students, and not put them down, because we're their teachers, and it's important that they know that we believe in them.